Welcome to the 152nd episode of the MZ Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome returning viewers, and for those of you watching us for the first time, we're so glad you could join us today. On today's video, we're going to talk about our adventure to Spin Me a Yarn in Etobicoke, Ontario, which was amazing. We were just there recently, but we visited again, and we want to share that video with you. Also on today's video, we will be announcing our winner of our giveaway from last time.
That's right, the Timber Yarns giveaway.
So make sure you watch through the whole video, and at the end we will let you know who won. Can't wait for you to hear that. But before we begin talking about our adventure and all that, Colleen will talk about what we're wearing.
So let's talk about what May is wearing first of all. So she is wearing the Honey Cowl, and that's by Antonia Shankland. Now, this one I've made double wide. I've made it like this, and this is one ball of the Sirdar Snuggly Baby Bamboo. It's lovely yarn. I made a purple one for me that was double the height. So the nice thing about this pattern, it's really easy to manipulate depending on how big you want it to be.
So you can make it longer or shorter?
Longer, shorter, taller. You can do it double
wider.
Wide. Exactly.
Nice.
All kinds of good things. It looks great on you. That color suits you.
And it's really nice for this kind of weather.
Exactly.
It's warm outside, but yeah.
All
nice.
right. So what I am wearing is the Petite Net Anchors summer shirt. And I am using yarn that's Ella Ray Denim DK.
Love the color. It looks like denim, doesn't it?
It does look like denim.
Yeah.
It is very comfy. It is almost too warm for it to wear it today, but mostly because I was doing some running around getting ready.
Fall.
Yeah, spring or fall would be good. But I know that I'm going to be doing another kind of summery, kind of sweatery kind of thing, but we'll talk about that later. So that is what I'm wearing, and next we're going to talk about finished objects. My first two finished objects are some more of those Newfie mittens by Nadine Reeves. And the color that I use is Heartland, and that is by Lion Brand. And then the black that I use is the Red Heart Soft. So we have, obviously we're not going to wear these today, but I made one that's got silver and gray. And silver gray, I guess, silver and gray. Black. Oh, she's going to put them on. Yep. Brave soul. And then the other ones I did with this blue. I love this blue color.
It is nice. The color combinations are great.
Exactly.
It feels weird putting mittens on in 100-degree weather, but they fit nice. I love how, I know I've mentioned this before, but I love how high they go up.
Exactly.
And I know that you have said that if you're going to do mittens, they look complicated, but they're not as complicated as
slip stitches. It's good.
Right.
Exactly. And I think you would like to do them. So you can do them with wool. This doesn't have any wool in it just because some people are a little hesitant to wear wool. It might have a little bit of a tooth to it. But this is lovely stuff.
Nice.
And we have done this for both women and men. And that pattern fits both.
Nice.
Exactly. So our sons were happy. Daughter-in-law was happy. Life is good. So that's the first thing. Then I decided to give my hands a little bit of a rest. So I did some sewing. And I made myself a plate cozy. We were just discussing it. Now, I'm so used to the bowl cozy that this feels a little flat, but if you think about what a plate is, it's flat. So it needs to have that. So it does curl up a little bit. It's got that batting that can go in the microwave. Reversible.
If you want it to be.
Exactly.
The reason why this came about is because Colleen and I use the bowl cozies quite a bit because we eat in front of the TV. We'll eat dinner in front of the TV. And we're forever grabbing a tea towel each because sometimes the plate's too warm.
Exactly.
And so I had suggested to Colleen, make a plate cozy if you can. Is there such a thing?
That's
and she says, sure, I'll try and make up a pattern. We got a plate and you kind of cut it out and you did all that work. And now we don't have to grab the tea towels. We just grab this.
Exactly.
And it's perfect.
Exactly.
I like it. So I don't know if it's a real thing. Like, I know the bowl cozies sell.
Yeah, there are plate cozies for sure. I think the plates, depending on how big your plate is, will depend on what it is. I feel like I need to make it curve a little bit more, but then I probably would think it's not the right thing to do.
But then if you've got a plate, usually plates don't curve like a bowl, right?
Exactly.
So this, I like it.
I think it's
curves
perfect.
Just enough. That it'll sit on our lap.
Exactly. I think you are correct with that.
I like it.
So that's my first sewing project. Then I decided to make some coasters. And so we've got 3 sets right now. So there's one set. And so this has batting on one side, which firms them up. It's fusible fleece. We've got some puppies, and we've got some Canada ones.
And I love these. These are the kind of coasters that I like to use. Now, I'll show you in my finished objects that I'm practicing with some silicone or resin coasters.
Right, right.
And I much prefer this type of coaster. It just works for me. They're really nice, and I love it. You can kind of personalize them a little bit, with what people like.
Yeah.
So
and you just get into the rhythm of doing the sewing part. So I like that as well.
That.
And I have all kinds of different patterns of fabric. So
even if you had small little pieces of fabric,
exactly,
this is a great way to get rid of it.
I know.
So those are, and sometimes you could quilt these if you wanted to. I think.
Right. And I debated about that, but I think the way that they are, they're firm enough to do that.
Yeah, I like them. Really nice.
All right, so that's some more sewing.
Wow.
Then I went into the world of crochet. Okay, so we've got knitting, we've got sewing, now we've got the world of crochet. So I finished some of the Knotted Lovelies, and this is by Alison Dratch and Lindsay McNutt. It comes from this book. And this is the smaller scale yarn. It's Paint Box Yarns Chenille. So we have Mr. Monkey. I'll let you hold that again. And then we have a wee sheep. There we go. And I like them. They're cute. They're not quite as lovey as the bigger ones, but I think they're very cute.
They're really nice. I like the ears on this sheep. It's floppy. That's cute.
Very floppy, that's for sure.
That's great.
There we go. So while I was working on those kinds of things, I thought, okay, we're going to have a booth. I need to start working on it. So I decided to work on some of the chickens because I'd sold a lot of them. So this is Mabel Chicken. It's Open Marlow. And the yarn that I used is Cozy Chenille Supreme. This is actually I bought at Walmart, which is good. And I've got a couple of these done. There they are, kind of round and cozy.
Those are great. Those are like an emotional support chicken.
Exactly. And so it's kind of cuddly and just will let you snuggle in. I gave one to my mom. She's happy to have it. And then somebody came in that has a little person and they wanted one. And so, yeah, they're kind of fun.
Yeah, nice.
I like that too.
Very nice.
So that's that. And I just use Charisma. Loops and Thread Charisma to do the accents on that.
You have been very busy.
I have. Oh dear, what comes next?
Not only that, I don't know if you were going to mention this or not, but a finished object basically is your finished object of your video of you learning how to crochet. That's a finished object.
It is a finished object.
It's very time consuming. I forgot how time consuming it was to do a tutorial video because you want to make sure it's correct and everything, and having to edit that's quite the work, but I think it turned out great for beginners. That you want to check that out if you're a beginner, want to learn how to crochet, that's perfect.
Exactly. And May was my videographer and helped out a lot to do that, so that was great.
That's great.
All right, so what else do we have? Oh, more booth knitting. Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
So these are some of the Christine button cowls. And I decided to make a few that I had to finish these ones up. So we've got a few creamy tweedy ones.
And they all have their buttons on there?
All have their buttons on, and this is kind of a nice forest green. So I'm going to have to make a hat that matches this one.
That's nice.
I got the yarn to do it.
It'd be nice to make some mitts too that go with that. Like that color, know. So that'd be great.
Put that in the plan. Put that in the plan.
Add that to the list.
That's okay. I don't mind having a list. It helps me get sorted out.
That's great.
So that's that. Now, what else do I have in my world?
You've got more?
Yes, I do.
Oh, wait, there's more.
There's more. And as I mentioned, that's Loops and Threads Charisma. I just wanted to say that. Now, I have a pair of socks that are finished. Now, these are going to look like the socks I had finished last time, but these are not. The ones that I finished last time were for my daughter-in-law's mom, and I thought, I've got enough yarn left. I'm going to make it for my daughter-in-law. And so she and her mom will have matching socks. So this is the Jemima sock pattern by K.F. Jones. And the yarn is Bamboo Mosaic sock yarn. And that's from Mary Maxim. And there they are.
Those are nice. I'll just put those over there.
Okay, let me just do some moving. There we go. Everything's got to go.
These are nice. Yeah, they are similar to the same ones as the last time.
So what I did, this is a size bigger than the other one, so I made them a little taller. And I'm going to have to pin these ones together and with a little tag so that my daughter knows.
It's great that you have enough yarn for that you're able to do both of those.
Exactly.
And you still have some left over.
I do. I had 2 skeins of this yarn, and I had made another pair of shorty socks, and then I made the one for mother-in-law, my daughter-in-law, and her mom, and then I still have this left.
That's fantastic.
I know. So it worked out really well. I was able to match them pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. I'm really happy with how those come out.
That's great.
So I think that's it. Oh my goodness. I think that's it. So those are my finished objects.
That's enough. That's a lot in a few weeks.
Exactly. Really. So May, finished objects for you. Let me just move this out of the way because I think I've drowned her. So
my space.
That's right. You don't want to mess up.
Yes, I've been working away on my finished objects. As you know, I've done these in the past. My resin and Great Lakes.
Yeah.
And
they're really, really nice.
Really nice. We were at the waterfront in Etobicoke, and so it kind of inspired me.
Very good. Yeah.
So that's Great Lakes. So I really like doing that. You're right. I've got a video on how I routed these out, and then I pour in the resin, and I try to make. I made a stencil so that I wouldn't drip the blue resin onto this because it goes into the pores and doesn't come out. And I kind of think I ruined a piece.
Okay.
And so on my video, what I did was I made this template so it wouldn't drip. But anyway, dripped and then it ran through into. It was a nightmare. Okay. But I thought, okay, it was all on video, and I thought, do I put that video up? But it may be a learning curve for people.
Yeah, that's
And then
true.
I thought, how do I fix that? And here is how I fixed that. So I did one, and I just painted over where the resin was.
It looks really, really good.
Yeah, so this is out of a mistake.
Well, it doesn't look like a mistake.
Yes. So I did that on the video, and so that's kind of interesting. And also, to prevent this from falling off, I also put glue on this.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
Because the resin was too shiny, so I did that.
Okay, excellent.
Right. So working on those, and since I have the resin out and I'm doing the resin thing, I thought I'd fix up this Lazy Susan that I had painted before.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, you're getting sleepy.
Yeah. Now, what I did was I found this Lazy Susan at a thrift store, took the bottom off.
Right.
Just an old piece of wood, and then I attached my own Lazy Susan, and this piece was from a thrift store.
Right.
This piece here was from the thrift store, and it was for one of those holders for
paper towel. Wow.
So I took that off and used that.
That's right.
So it's all thrift store. I painted the Union Jack, and then I just went over it with resin. And so it's a really beautiful. Nice Lazy Susan.
I like that.
And since I had the resin out, I thought I would
resin. Here we go.
Start making coasters for maybe personalized coasters of some sort.
That's a great idea.
Maybe some Scottish, maybe some Union Jacks to go with that. Yeah. Here's a Scottish sayings I thought would be kind of cool. This one happens to say haver. You know that song? Do I haver?
Yep.
Anyway, that means to talk rubbish.
Okay.
And so I thought I'd make up some little sayings with the coasters. This was kind of an experiment to see how thick I wanted it. I also put resin on, I don't know if you saw that I'd made buttons with cardboard and resin. So I thought maybe the cardboard would work for a coaster. Right. And this one was one made from cardboard, so I'm not sure the route I'm going to go. This is a mold, and this is cardboard. So kind of experimenting with different ideas. This was from a mold, and this was actually material.
How did you do that?
So I would cut a little piece, experimenting again, cut a little piece of material, put the resin in the mold.
Right.
Took out the bubbles with some flames.
Right.
Whatever.
Flames.
You know those lighters you use for the barbecue?
Yep.
Took out some bubbles.
Yep.
Put the little piece of fabric in.
Right.
Lay it down, and then poured more resin over top, and that was an experiment. It came out pretty good. So
it's really,
for
really
all
nice.
The fabric you have in the basement, I'm going to have fun.
Okay, we'll talk. Because that fabric may not need to go into a coaster, but we'll see. If I have little bits, you can add little bits.
Okay, but that's perfect using up little bits of fabric.
Exactly, it's a great idea.
I'm going to go online and find out some larger molds. I just find the the mold that I have here.
Right.
A little small. I
Right.
like this size, but this
Right.
is what I cut out from cardboard. So
Okay.
I'm going to try and get a mold this size. 'Cause I
Okay,
like
that makes
better.
sense. Yeah.
So experimenting with that, having lots of fun with my resin again. Being able to get the garage door and being
Exactly.
vented is
Exactly.
perfect. So that's where I'm
great.
at.
Okay. So those are our finished objects, and next we're going to talk about works in progress. Well, May, I only have one work in progress.
Oh.
Only one.
I thought you had socks on the go there. Oh, those are the socks you completed. Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
You were
See
good.
what happens when you're not looking? There we go. Now, what my work in progress is, it's a work in progress on two ways. One is that I'm going to do a tutorial about this, and the other one is just to show you what I'm doing. So this yarn, I'll let you hold on to that because you're
Okay.
going to like that. This is called Loops and Threads Delicate DK, and it's an
Wow.
acrylic blend. And I got this at Michael's, so you can use a coupon. Now, what I'm doing is I am going to make either a shawl or a cowl. This is starting to talk to me like I really need that around my neck. So I may have to, if I can get the same dye lot, I may have to go get another ball of it. And so what it's going to be, I'll let you hold that up,
Okay.
is it is going to be an I-cord edge here, and then it's going to be an I-cord bind off, and then this is a bit of a slip stitch to make a nice edge at the top. Now you start off with 3 stitches, and you just keep doing this as long as you need to do it. So this color, I'm going to make one for May, but it's not going to be very long. And this one I'm debating. I might make myself a nice big lovely warm thing, which doesn't make sense when it's going to be 31 degrees Celsius tomorrow. But it's feeling so soft. I think in the winter you'd like to have that around your neck.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that yarn. It feels
know.
so soft.
So it will become a tutorial. The reason why I'm practicing on the darker one, because I think a tutorial, it shows up better on a lighter colored yarn.
Okay, well, this one's
Exactly.
lighter color. That's perfect. Yeah.
Exactly, that was my plan.
So you can practice, and then when
I
you do tutorial,
can.
you should
Yep,
be
I
good.
mean, I'd done this before, but it had been a while, and I just want to make sure that in my head, it's kind of how I did when I was teaching math. I'd think, okay, I know what I want to get across. I got to break it down into little pieces so everybody can learn. So that's what I want to do.
Good. That would be great.
So that is my work in progress. And there isn't even a pattern to tell you about because it's in my head.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and
Nice.
it's not much of a pattern. It just, you can find out all the information by looking at different things, and I've just kind of thrown them all together.
That's great.
Okay, so that is my work in progress. And May, how about you? Work in progress.
Well, working on those resins and practicing and playing around with what works and what doesn't work with those resin coasters.
Right.
Also, Colleen and I are going to in Grand Bend. It's a huge outdoor market.
Yeah.
And I got as involved in that so that we could sell our wares, obviously not the knitting wear, but maybe some of my woodworking
Right.
and some of the soap that we have.
Right.
And so work in progress is getting the tables set up. We've got 2 tables there. I can't wait to show you that on the next video, so make sure you'll be looking for our next video on the next time. I'll take pictures of the market and let you know how we did there. We've never done an outdoor market before. We're hoping for nice weather, but even if it does rain, they said it could be covered. Sometimes
Right.
you have to get there early to get a covered spot.
Right.
We're not sure how it works,
Right.
but you're learning as we're learning, and we'll let you see that video next time we're do our thing.
Okay, so that's our work in progress. And next we're going to talk about our adventure.
Well, our adventure took us to Spin Me a Yarn in Etobicoke. I say Etobicoke, is that right? It's a New Toronto, they call it. It's in the
Yeah.
Toronto area.
Right.
It's on the Lakeshore Boulevard.
Right.
It's worth a trip. You can take the GO
Absolutely.
train, then you take the you can take the bus. It takes you right there. So, and if you want to see how that happens, Colleen and I visited there when it was cold. We went in April.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold. We wanted to get to the waterfront, but we only did a day trip. This time we went for overnight, and Treena hosted us for dinner with her
Which was
family. Her
lovely.
mom was here from England, and her friend Mel, and we had the best time ever. They're so what a nice family.
Yeah, exactly.
Trina's husband's Bob was amazing. He cooked the meal.
Yeah.
He's so supportive of Treena and her store.
Yes, absolutely.
And Colleen loves the store. It's her
I
new
do.
favorite yarn store to go to. So we went, and we have some great photos here of the lakeshore in the front. Colleen was sitting on the bench. bench. We took our time. We walked. They've got a great bike path. There's a lot of bikers that go there, like for cyclists.
Yes.
And the stores were great.
Exactly. We had a lovely walk. It was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, the weather was great.
Exactly.
There's a place where you can park your boat or dock your boat, I guess it is. You can launch your boat. What a great spot to be. Like, I think what happens at Spin Me a Yarn, they sometimes go down to the park on the weekends and they knit right at the lake.
Oh,
Can you imagine
beautiful.
doing that
I would
all
love
summer?
that. I would
We
love
might have
that.
to just go for a Sunday again just to do that.
Oh, that would be nice.
We stayed at a hotel right on Lakeshore Boulevard. There's not a lot of hotels in that area.
No.
We chose that area because Treena, the owner of the store, Spin Me a Yarn, she lived close, so we were able to walk over to her place for dinner.
Right. It was four things down from the yarn store.
I know, we had a beautiful dinner, had great conversation.
That's right.
I didn't want to put pictures in of the dinner because I wanted to kind of, respect the privacy of her family.
Right, exactly.
But it was just wonderful, and you couldn't have asked for a better host or hostesses. It was a great
right.
visit,
We had a wonderful
and
time.
Colleen can tell you all about the yarn store.
Well, I could spend hours and hours and hours. And the good thing is that Pat, who is Trina's mom, was there having a chat with May. And so I could go around and I could have lots of time to look. Now, when I was there last time, I bought some yarn to make a cowl. And this time I thought, it's time I start using my yarn to make things that I can wear. So when I was talking to Treena about it, she was talking about, first of all, she talked about this pattern. So the Anchor Summer shirt, which I went, I've already done that. Where is it? Why am I not wearing it?
Dig it out.
So I dug it out just before we did our podcast. And then she was talking about a salty air tee. And that is by, let me get the name of who it's by, Samantha Gurin. And I thought, I've seen that pattern and it's really pretty. So Treena showed me some pictures of that pattern because they did some alterations. So they might make the sleeves a little longer, make it a little longer because the pattern itself is a little cropped. And I thought, ooh, I could do that. So then she took me over to where the Cascade Heritage sock was. And the nice thing about that is you don't have to do helical knitting when, you're using hand-dyed yarn. You don't have to do that. So I thought, ooh, I could do this. So then, of course, I'm looking at this wall of color. And what do you think I said?
Purple.
May, come help me. Help me. So when we talk about our souvenirs, I'll show you what I got there. But I could have spent the entire day and then the next day in there.
You know what I think is, I think you feed off Treena's enthusiasm and passion about knitting, and she's knowledgeable, and she seems to know everything about knitting, knowledgeable patterns and excitement, and you kind of feed off of that.
Exactly, and she's got such beautiful colors, beautiful yarn. The store's really well laid out.
Great samples.
Great samples. Oh, great samples. Lots of places to sit if you wanted to just sit and knit. And it's such a welcoming environment. They've done an amazing job. Trina's done an amazing job of creating a space for makers and knitters and crocheters. It's a beautiful, beautiful store.
So they have a website, so you can check that website out.
Exactly.
And if you get an opportunity, it's definitely worth the trip. If you go on a nice day, you can just walk right down to the riverfront or take your bikes.
The waterfront, yeah.
And you can walk down, cycle across that waterfront, that park.
Yes,
There's actually 3 or 4 parks along the way.
Exactly.
And check all that out. So it's definitely worth the trip.
We had a great time.
We had a nice time. Took the bus down, took the GO train, and then we took the train home from Toronto. We had a nice time in Toronto. We spent some time there.
Yeah.
And
now we did discuss noise canceling headphones because probably, I don't know, maybe summer happening, but there were screaming kids on the way down and there were screaming kids on the way back.
And we like children.
Yes, we do like children.
I just don't like them screaming two seats behind me for 2 hours.
That's for sure.
Very, very loud. But
so we thought noise canceling headphones.
Yeah, that's
because
the
then
first
you could
time
listen to
that's
something on YouTube. Yeah, it is.
That's the very first time. I mean, we usually hear kids or around kids, and it's never really been a
No.
screaming. And they were not a young screaming child, like a baby.
No.
Like we're talking like school age teenage children that
They were just not happy.
Just not happy, out of control. So and I feel for the parents because
Yes.
you've been in that situation as
Yes,
a parent where your
I
kids misbehaving, and
Yeah.
that actually I didn't tell you about this, but that happened to me. I went to the doctor's yesterday, and there was a lady, and the poor lady was like, her child she wants the child in the buggy, and the child must have been about 4.
Oh,
and the child was not having it, and the child was screaming, and the mom was getting frustrated, and I thought, I'm not even going to look because
Yeah.
I cannot, I feel the mom's pain. So
Exactly.
I'm sure she got her in the buggy because
That's
she wasn't
right.
there when I came out of the doctor's office. But I was feeling for the mom.
But we did have a good time.
We did had a great time. Definitely visit there. Spin me a yarn. I'm not a knitter, and I love that store. And I could stay in there, but I think it's partly because of who Treena is.
Exactly.
And I think her employees, they weren't there,
Right.
but the people that she employs
Yeah.
are just as welcoming as Treena is.
Exactly,
So
absolutely.
if you go there, make sure you get a chance to say hello and tell them May and Colleen said hi.
There you go. So that was our adventure, and next we're going to talk about souvenirs. Souvenirs. All right, spin me a yarn and souvenirs. It's a great way to go. So, salty air tea, the pattern has been purchased. I'm ready to go with that. I didn't want to wind this up. So, Treena had mentioned I probably could get away with just 2 skeins of this yarn. It's not super expensive yarn, so I thought, well, I'll buy 3. Then I could either make a cowl or a shawl or something with whatever's left. But I love this color. So we were having the debate. This color, a brighter blue. I did have a heather
Well, actually,
purple.
there was this color, but it came darker, it came lighter. This is kind of
Exactly.
in the middle. Almost the same color, only
Right.
different muted kind of
Exactly.
or darker tones.
Exactly. But I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, it's nice.
And the trick is always when you're at a yarn store, and you probably already know this, but take it not out the door. Take it
Too light.
to
Daylight.
Daylight, and then you'll get a better sense of the color.
That's nice.
So
nice color.
I love
it.
that teal. Yes,
Nice.
it's not yours.
I think it's my color.
It is,
But we could always get something teal and make me something teal.
yes, we could do that for sure.
Right. That could be an adventure.
Oh, could be. So that, well, not that. Those were my souvenirs. And May, how about souvenirs for you?
Souvenirs for me? Well, I didn't buy anything except for food.
We did.
And I eat my souvenirs. I ate my way through.
We had really good caramel sundaes.
We did.
They were real. I mean, they were McDonald's sundaes, and they were only $2, but they were delectable.
Yeah, it was. Like, that's all you have to spend, $2 and be quite content.
Exactly.
That was in Toronto, by the
Yes,
way. That was
it
in
was.
Toronto. So speaking of souvenirs, I have the garden. It's kind of gotten overgrown.
Yes.
I don't know if I have given it too much fertilization. I only did it once. And it's just kind of overgrown, but I have gotten you and I have both had lots of salad from
Yes,
the lettuce. It's kind
absolutely.
of getting down there.
Right.
But things seem to just
Yeah.
be like growing like crazy. I'm very
Right.
pleased with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's been a good experiment. My tomato plants are totally out of control. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. If you can give me some advice. I did take some things off. Maybe I took the wrong things off. There's a few tomatoes on there.
Well, that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
And I had suggested that May put some parsley in because we are not cilantro people. So I thought we could have parsley and use that in any recipes like that. But the parsley's gone crazy. So I said to May, it's time to take the parsley out, give the lettuce more room to grow,
Right.
and then we'll be in good shape.
And maybe we could freeze the parsley. I'm not even sure we could do that.
Well, we were
so-
going to Google that.
Okay.
Yes, we'll check that out.
Speaking of that, I'm just going to mention this. My son went to the market that we're going to on the weekend to sell our wares.
Right.
And my son said at that market he bought some black, I wonder if you guys have heard of this, some black garlic. And it's
Never
not like
heard of
you can grow black garlic.
No.
There's a process that you take regular garlic and you
Right.
put it in a slow cooker or what, you can look it up on YouTube.
Right.
And it becomes black garlic. My son
Wow.
says it's a lot milder than garlic.
Oh, okay.
And he uses it in cooking. And he loves it, and
Right.
he said it's quite expensive. I think.
I think the process is quite intense to
Intense.
make the black garlic. I
Right,
think.
but so he said he was going to make some of his own, and he quite liked it. From what he described, kind of like a licorice kind of a taste.
Wow.
Not strong, but a taste.
Okay.
Thing like that. So anyway, that was kind of an interesting little piece of information I thought I'd share, and see
Very
if you've heard of it.
That's right.
But yeah, so that's my
Souvenirs.
souvenirs. Food. It's all about food.
All about. All right. The time has come.
Winner,
The time
chicken dinner.
has come. So the winner of the Timber Yarns giveaway So there is a mini, and it's called Marled O Canada. Now, to whoever the winner is, I am going to put this in the food saver and compress it because it will send cheaper that way. We'll still make sure it's going to get to you okay. As soon as you open it up, it'll pop open and it'll all fill out. I've had yarn arrive to me that way, and it's good, so I'm not worried about wrecking somebody's yarn. Not that I'm not wanting to tell you who the winner is.
And the lady in Timber Yarns,
Yes.
remind me of her name again.
Heather.
Heather, who is very generous,
Yes.
and she's kind, and she was good enough to do this. We appreciate that, Heather.
Exactly.
And if you get a chance to go to Heather's store, go
That's
to
right.
Heather's store.
And if you've never bought Timber yarns, you should give it a try because it's beautiful yarn.
Right.
Which reminds me, I finished a pair of socks, but I have to figure out if I've shown you.
Now,
So
where is Heather's store again?
Heather doesn't have a store.
Oh. She
Yeah,
doesn't?
she's online, and she's thinking she might be online all the time.
So if you
yeah,
want to check out,
Yes,
and she's
sir.
in Ontario,
yes,
check this out. You might want to
Exactly.
go online, and it's www.timberyarns.com.
perfect.
And you will find, and she's got quite the selection too, doesn't
Exactly. Many colors, that's for sure.
she? So there you go.
All right. So the winner is at Sandra Clemens 9658.
So how does Sandra get in touch with you?
So what you need to do is on Ravelry, send us a message. We're MC Knit Adventures. Just send us a message that says, hello, I am at Sandra Clemens 9658. This is my name. This is my address. Let us know that you've won and send us your address, and then I will get that out to you as quickly as I can.
And thank you for everybody that
Entered.
entered and gave me their comments, and it gave us some.
There were a
interesting ideas.
number of different festivals that people went to.
We
Some
didn't
of them
heard of. We
hadn't heard of. So I made a list. Made a list.
And we'll be venturing there.
We
So it'll be
will,
good.
that's
But
for sure.
Congratulations, Sandra, and you'll look forward to getting that in the mail soon.
That sounds great. So thanks so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up, comment down below,
Ring the bell.
ring the bell, and subscribe. We really do like doing this for you. We enjoy going to festivals. We enjoy going to
Visiting
yarn
yarn
stores.
stores.
We enjoy crafting. And we're glad that we can share it with you. So until next time,
You take care.